The protest as a result of the murder of George Floyd has been really, really painful to watch. Just from the standpoint, I'm the mother of 3 black men, and I'm the younger sister of 3 brothers. You think that humanity would put value on a person's life. That's what you've always been taught. That's what you've always taught your children. And then to see someone murdered in cold blood it's heartbreaking. It makes you angry. It's a very focused agenda that you have to have as a parent of a black son to make sure that they stay alive.
I think I told my mother this, but one time I was sitting in the parking lot of McDonald's. We had just graduated and everything, so me and my friends wanted to just celebrate. You know, we would just all sit in the parking lot, eating food, and just listening to music, basically. So then a police officer shined the light in the car and everything. And then he came to us like, "Do you guys have anything in here?" and such and such. I said no. It wasn't about like 2 minutes later, 6, 7 more police cars came. And they had pulled me out the car, pulled the other people out the car. But later on, I realized that the person who fit my description, so-called, didn't even fit my description. I mean, he was bald. He was like light-skinned.
That's just my biggest fear, is having somebody come to my door and say, "Are you Delvonte Hurston's mom? This is what happened."
What I worry about the most is not their actions, but the actions of other people. That someone will decide that this is the day and that is the black man that I'm going to target.
All right, it's been a minute.
The conversations that I have with Delvonte, just the simple stuff, just walking in a store, and that's why I teach him a lot about manners and being respectful. You say yes, ma'am, you say no, ma'am, and that goes for everybody. It's kind of like defense mechanisms to keep him as this gentle giant so that he's not seen as somebody that's overbearing or he's a thug, or when you see him, you instantly don't want to grab your purse or don't want to lock your door.
The way that my mother is, she's very protective. She always makes sure like that I keep my head on straight, make sure I don't get in no trouble, and like go through all types of protocol, whether that's driving, me walking, me coming into the police, even my father, because I am his only son. So they always make sure I do the right thing.
There's no different than what happened in Minneapolis than what happened on plantations in Virginia, in North Carolina, and Georgia since the founding of this country. We have to decide as people that we're not going to take it anymore. They have a right to be who they are, to learn how they can, to function, to drive, to walk, to run. That is their inalienable right, and anybody that attacks them because of that is dead wrong. To think that you may not come out of a run or a walk alive, but if you come out of it alive, then let that fuel your fire to make you want to make sure that somebody else doesn't die. And that's the kind of injustice that you raise them to tackle.
I was fortunate to not have experienced it, but I know that it's still going on today, and I know that I want to do my part any way that I can to end it and advocate for others. Seeing all of these protests on social media is kind of like overwhelming because all of it is happening at once.
With the police brutality, I'm not seeing no repercussions for the same actions that they're doing as if somebody of my color would do it.
George Floyd was the final straw. The police department needs to change. I know there are petitions going around for police reforms, and there are other things that we don't know about that need change. But as much as we want to do our part, the other ethnicities and other communities need to step up as well. I know there are some white people that are advocating for change, but it needs to be all of them, not some of them.
The target needs to come off of the back of the black men in this country. I don't care how many laws are passed, until people have a change of heart in a systematic environment that breeds the kind of contempt that leads to racism, then I don't know how much is going to change. But it starts very, very young.
I tell him every day, you're black, but you're just as powerful as any other race. There's nothing you can't do. We have successful politicians that are black. We have inventors. Your only limitation is you.
I am really proud to be black. You know, it's a lot that comes with it, of course.
I am proud to be a black man. There's no one like us, and we are our own individual beings, but we are equal to them as well. We have the same opportunities, the same goals, the same drive, creativity, everything. We have a voice just like you do and just like everyone else does.
I believe the change in this country is going to come from this generation. The generation now that's marching, the generation that's graduating from college, the millennials and the generation that have the resources. They have the tenacity, they have the nerve, and they don't have fear. They are very open in ways that the older generations were not so much.
I think it all starts off with the people in power. A president should govern himself as somebody who, yes, I'm a regular person just like you, but I still have a bigger responsibility, and that's everybody. So I shouldn't be spending all my time on social media when I should be spending my time on, okay, how do I fix certain issues in the world? Like, yes, homeless people, yes, racism, yes, creating peace with other countries so that way we can have allies in certain situations, and also like helping us get out of debt and all types of issues that even we don't know, but he does.
My boys, they're frustrated that people don't see the content of their character, that the first thing they do is judge them by the color of their skin and their own insecurities. But that goes all the way back to the demonization and the villainization of black men, period.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
It all comes down to we all have to be treated equally. You know, that's what our founding fathers, so-called, wanted us to believe in, and that's what all the activists want us to believe in too. I do have white friends, you know, like I said, traveling around, so nowadays our conversations are limited, you know. They feel as though they can't joke around me as much because they feel as though like everything going on, one joke, I might take it the wrong way. From the start, we had a mutual agreement, you know, I know what type of a person they are, they know what type of person I am, so it was like, okay, we both comfortable. You know, we both can talk and everything. I know they would never cross that line because they wasn't grown up to be that way, but they still kind of feel, you know, hesitant a little bit, which is understandable.
They walk around with the world in their hand. At the time when I was their age, I don't know if I would have been able to handle the influx of information. So they're already smarter than us. We can't be threatened by that. We have to empower them in order to make sure that when we're old, they're able to create the kind of society that we can live in and thrive in our old age. We can't fear them, and we definitely cannot control them. We need to empower them to move forward and change this society because they're ready.
The older people say we are the future, so it's really going to take all of us. Yes, they did their part. They set the foundation. Now we got to build on top of that. We got to actually take that farther than what it is because we're the next presidents, lawyers, governors, all that. So we do have to take that role and to come together and actually push that along, build that up.
The world is changing. Each passing year, each passing generation, things are different when it comes to us and what we're living on now. It's our turn.